Hi guys, it's Major Think, and today we're talking about how some X-Men must have survived in Logan and which X-Men they may have been. Okay, so we all know there's a shit ton of X-Men, excuse my English, X-Men movies, and that will mean a shit ton of X-Men. But today, I'm only going to be focusing on a few of these movies, the ones that matter, the ones that we know really happened. And, well, X-Men, the first one set in like 62, we're not going to worry about that one either. It's just pretty much, so X-Men Days of Future Past, X-Men Apocalypse, and a little bit of Logan. So, first off, let's take the quote from the radio about the Westchester incident, fuck my life, from the car in Logan. Now, it goes, hundreds of people were injured, that it doesn't matter, and it goes, and 7 mutants were killed, including several of the X-Men. Okay, let's analyse this first. This means, say, if all these 7 mutants were X-Men, he would have said 7 X-Men were killed. But because we know it's a school, and there might have been other, say, students, like, I know they're all grown up because of the 25 years thing, even though it doesn't make sense because there's children in Days of Future Past. They would have to be 19. So, but back to this. So, that means maximum 6 X-Men could have died, because they would have said 7 X-Men. Okay? But, if we go to the beginning of the movie, and from the middle, through the comics, Charles Xavier's in the comics, we know that. That means Charles Xavier is considered an X-Man. Okay? Well, he is. So, that means 5 X-Men must have died, maximum, like worst case. Should I tell you why? Because at the beginning of the movie, near the beginning, it is shown to be the illusion that the world thinks Charles Xavier has died. Through when Logan says, oh, Charles is dead, trying to protect Charles. Yeah, so that means that 7 of these mutants, 6, because he says several, that means that all of them weren't X-Men. So let's say one of them was an X-Man. That means that was 6 X-Men, the worst case. Then take away Charles, there's 5 X-Men, worst case. Now, let's go through what these X-Men could have been that died/survived. Now, first, we're going to talk about how many X-Men there could have been and who they could have been. So, first, we'll start with Days of Future Past. Okay, so, Days of Future Past. And that end, the sunny 2023 Days of Future Past, there was 8 X-Men. That means, out of those 8, 5 must have died. 8 X-Men that we could see. Let me add that. Because, in my eyes, there's more than just those 8 X-Men. There was Storm, Beast, Bobby and Rogue, Kitty, Colossus, and Jean and Cyclops. Okay? So those are the 8 X-Men from the end of Days of Future Past. So, unless any of them died before the Westchester incident, that means that there must have been at least 8 there, and out of those 8, 5 died. So out of those 8, 3. So this brings us to the total of 3 survivors. Now I think there's more than 3 survivors. So I'm not going to talk yet about who I think survived, because I'm not going to talk much about that. I'm more talking about how there must be more. So let's go over to X-Men Apocalypse. Now here, we've got Nightcrawler, which is also considered an X-Man, because he joins the X-Men there. Surely he's carried on for later on, maybe. He could be an X-Men that was in the Westchester incident. But personally, because I think, this is a little insight into later, if he was an X-Man in the Westchester incident, he might have been paralysed so he couldn't teleport away. Or because like the guy moved his eyes before he got stabbed in the head, he could. That means mutants could maybe like still say he could still teleport away, but I don't think he would have the time or even like the power to go back there and save someone. So I feel like he might have saved himself, but he couldn't actually save other people. Okay, also there's Quicksilver, which is now an X-Man, and he says he's gonna hang around at the end of X-Men Apocalypse. And also in X-Men Days of Future Past, Logan says that he knows Quicksilver from the future, implying that he was an X-Man in the original timeline. So if we add both those on, that is 10 X-Men. Meaning, so I think at least one of those two could be an X-Man in the Westchester incident. Needs to get that down. Okay, there's also Mystique. Now, Mystique is seen to be an X-Men at the end of X-Men Apocalypse, like helping the students train. So we got Mystique as another person. And I know we weren't talking about Deadpool at the beginning, but Deadpool, not Deadpool himself, but Negasonic Teenage Warhead, nailed it. I'm pretty sure I nailed it. If I nailed it, just let me have this moment. I'm pretty sure I nailed it. So, Negasonic Teenage Warhead. Oh, shut up. So her, which would be a good age because she was a teenager in Deadpool, which was set in 2015, I think, meaning that in 2029 she wouldn't be 70 like Storm. Well, I don't know if Storm will be 70, but she'll be a good older than 50. I'm pretty sure older than 50. She would be around about, I don't know, 20, 30. So Negasonic Teenage Warhead, boom, will be about 30. And then she's clearly going to be an X-Men. That's another one. You've also got all the people in future Days of Future Past. In the future of Days of Future Past. Tongue Twister. Magneto's dead. He's about 100. So I don't think he would be alive. I'm surprised, like, Charles, like, he was, like, lasted till 90 with all his stress that he must have been going through. So, I think the people that survived may have been Thingamabob Jean because she's super powerful. There's also the fact of Nightcrawler's teleportation. Cyclops because of a theory I found about him being the guy that wrote the comics, and he's there to meet the mutants. And also, I think these are people that I think must have survived. Storm, because I feel like because they put her in Apocalypse, like they literally just started developing a character like from a new origin. So yeah, there's also, or maybe Rogue because she may have Wolverine's powers. So quick summary, I think that best case there was 12 mutants and about 5, 6 survived. No, 12 mutants and only 7 survived. Worst case, there was 8 mutants and 2 survived. So, hope you liked the video. If you did, please like. If you want to see more, subscribe, and I hope I made you think.